Okay, today's vintage toy will be the 1950s Mechanized Robot. There was an original one that had C cells in the legs. This particular run runs on D cells in the legs. It's not the reproduction by Osaka 10, it's the original 50s one. We have, like I say, a battery in each leg compartment, the normal knob openers, the main on-off switch here, moving lit pistons, moving and spinning antenna, and if it walks long enough, then it would also turn. These aren't the best batteries, but I wanted to get into more of the details of what was going on here. And to do that, I'll reach into the old parts bin here. And all kinds of parts. Let's start off with down in the foot section. So down in the foot section, the one foot has this geared thing connected to the rear ratchet wheel. So every time the rear ratchet wheel runs, it turns a cam, and as that cam slowly comes around, that'll push back on this lever, and then that turns the little wheel under the robot's foot, making the robot turn. As far as the motor gearbox goes, they basically all looked a lot like this. One main difference is a lot of them had a motor that had an all plastic shell, usually a red plastic shell. And the plastic shells tend to get fragile and fall apart, plus where the motor shaft comes through the shell there is no bearing, so at least on these metal ones they have a brass insert in there, and you can oil that and keep the motor running along. But the ones that are all plastic, once that plastic eggs out, then the motor's not going to run too well. This large pulley would have a very large rubber O-ring that runs all the way up into the head. And one of these bags will have some of those goodies. Let's look in this bag. Runs all the way up into the head. And let's see, this thing's got a light on it. Let's turn that light on. A little more light. These are the back of the pistons. The belt would come all the way up to here. So as this moves around, that crank would then make all those pistons go up and down. This bent part here would engage one of the rotors out there, and this one here, you can see this crusty green thing, that used to be supple and rubber. You'd have to replace that so that there would be a disc on the vertical scanner that would rub on that to make the vertical scanner turn through friction. The legs, you've got your bottom part, your main leg linkage, battery box. Each leg will have two wires coming up out of it from the battery. And I think that was about all I wanted to show you on the inside of the toy. It's a very large toy, and being that it's so massive and so much weight there, and the legs literally just sit on the top of this foot piece. You can see this one's kind of crunched in a little bit. They get worse than that, because as kids would play with them and bang them around, that would just bend the whole top of this in, and once that gets bent up, then your feet don't make good contact and the robot won't work right, or won't even stand up. It'll tend to fall over a lot. So this is a weak link in the design, being that all the weight is just supported by the flat top of the foot. If there had been some verticals of some sort going clear down to the ratchet base part, it had been a lot stronger. The other weak link, of course, too, is that the original rubber O-ring used to drive all that stuff. They always dry up and crack and fall out. Of course, now they could be replaced with a silicone O-ring or neoprene, something that would last longer. But there you have it, a 1950s mechanized robot.